the Witching Hour, where you're invited to tune in and drop out. Join us and settle in as you're guided through a trilogy of healing journeys to awaken, connect, and inspire. This is the Witching Hour.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of The Witching Hour. You're here with the Alchemy Sisters and Greenwich Village. We are here like every Friday to take you on a journey, a trilogy of journeys, and I'd love to introduce my co-hosts. We have the beautiful Mandy Elam. Mandy, how are you doing?
I'm doing really good. I actually am excited and grateful right now for my garden because last night I wasn't feeling the hottest, and I felt like I was starting to get a sinus infection, and I have really bad allergies. I've had them for a while now, and I had gotten some water in my ear when I was swimming, so I think that started to create a bit of a sinus infection. And between last night and today, I've been drinking on and off just fresh oregano tea and lemon thyme tea from my garden, and I feel like a whole new woman. So I'm just like very grateful and excited to connect with a couple of my green witches about it. So happy to be here.
Oregano. Thanks. We're so glad you're here. As per usual, I'm digging oregano as well. It's a wonderful antibacterial. I like to take, and I don't know if they advise people to do this, but I know a lot of people who do, so I'll talk about it. Take this at your own risk. I take a couple drops of the essential oil and put it in an empty capsule and take it, and it just makes my digestion magical. And if I want to get real fancy, I'll add a couple drops of peppermint, and then I've got a really lovely stomach elixir, I guess we'll call it, digestive elixir. And Leah, it's so nice to be here with you. How are you doing today?
I am really great today. I'm feeling like super up. I've had a really kind of hectic couple of weeks for work, but I am on my full moon side of my menstrual cycle. So even though new moon is well on its way, I'm feeling a lot of the opposite. So I'm getting organized and getting a lot of stuff done and just feeling really excited about this seasonal shift we're coming up to this weekend with Litha, but also about everything that we've been creating the past couple of weeks together. It feels really in alignment. So I'm feeling motivated and inspired and just excited to be alive in 2020, even amongst all of the craziness.
That is music to my ears, and it's magic for alchemy and alchemizing all that chaos that happens to be out there right now. So you're a little burst of alchemizing heart energy. We can dig that. So we are the Alchemy Sisters and Greenwich Village, and we are called The Witching Hour. We are on Heart Over Ego Radio Podcast Network. We have a slew of shows, and they keep adding. So check us out. Find us on any major podcast app, Heart Over Ego Radio, and like, follow, share. You're going to like our content if you like this kind of show. So we appreciate you for tuning in. And ladies, should we talk a little bit about some developments of our witching weekend, which is going to happen over Halloween or Samhain weekend, which happens to also fall on a Saturday, and daylight savings, as well as what other magic is happening there? I guess it's Saturday, Halloween, full moon. Mm-hmm. So who wants to start? Is Mandy, do you want to tell us about some developments, some things you're excited about, and then I'll pass it around?
Sure. I'm really excited. If you're interested, you can follow us on the Alchemy Sisters on Facebook. You can follow Leah's page, Greenwich Village, and we are going to be posting our event page very soon this week, and tickets will go on sale July 1st, and there's lots of ticket options, very affordable plans. You can stay overnight if you want. You don't have to. We will also be setting up a 3-month payment plan for those of you who may want to take a little time and plan towards this. So lots of options there. We're going to have wonderful entertainment, which I'm sure Jenny will tell you more about, and I'm just really excited about the amount of interest, and I want our listeners to know that if you are interested, let us know, because there is option of adding on even more lodging. So if more people want to come, we're going to add in a whole nother unit. So just reach out and let us know your interest, and we're excited to hold space.
Leah, I'll have you take over next, but I also want you to tell us where we're going to be since it's going to be in your stomping grounds.
Yeah, so we are staying in Chickamauga, Georgia, which is about 15 minutes from downtown Chattanooga. It's right on the line of Georgia and Tennessee. The cool thing about the land of Chickamauga, from my understanding, is that a lot of this area is built on a bed of quartz crystal. So it is super high vibe land in general. And what I love about the area of Chattanooga and this kind of like North Georgia Valley area is that it is very jungly in nature. We have really long summers, lots of rain. There are actually parts of Chattanooga that have been classified as a rainforest because of the amount of rain and because of the biodiversity. So my vibe in general, kind of what I gravitate to, is this lush, thick, like spaces of greenery and lots of water. And so we're going to see a lot of that at this venue. There are going to be options to camp, and camping in October in Tennessee is honestly sublime. If you get into camping, it's going to be fantastic. And yeah, we'll be able to see the trees, the woods. We'll be in these like rolling hills where we can view pastures, and the sky is absolutely beautiful. So even though we're really close to the city, at night we're going to be able to see a lot of what's happening in the sky. And so it being a full moon weekend, there's going to be a lot for us to take in energetically, and then just like physically, as far as the landscape of the place is absolutely beautiful. But we're really excited, or I'm really excited, to dive into a weekend of ceremony. So we're going to be offering, I believe, plant medicine ceremonies in the form of cacao circles, something that I've worked with a lot in my personal journey. It's a medicine that I absolutely love. And then we'll be doing some full moon, like burning and releasing and empowering ceremonies. And then the absolute best part is we're going to go full on like pagan and have a fantastic full moon Samhain celebration Saturday night. So we'll be able to dance out under the moon around the fire, and we'll have music and just community. And this is a big year, I think, for changes and transformation on many different levels. So this will be a really great way to celebrate our descent into the darker half of the year.
All shape-shifting allowed. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
You come, you change your dynamics with us. We'll wake up in the morning with a fresh start. It'll be fun. I am looking forward to all of that. I love business. I love organization. I love getting groups together and performances. I'm just not really big in acting myself or performing in music or big in music at all. So I never knew how I was going to be able to put all those desires together. And here we are, selling my most loved passions: healing, reflection, and weekends together with friends under the full moon. It's all my favorite things. So I'm really excited to be a part of it, to experience it, to help throw it. I feel like this is going to end up being a routine for us. I think we'll end up doing this quite often. So if you don't get a chance to make it to northern Georgia over this Samhain celebration, just know there are many more in the works already. So going across the country, you'll be able to experience us at some point. I'm excited about seeing people that I have never met in real life, that I have been friends with for a decade on the internet. So I'm excited to meet Drew and his girlfriend and his son. I'm excited to, I just found out Leela might be showing up, so I'm going to be able to meet Leela in the physical and, of course, gather with you ladies. So it's just going to be a joyous occasion, and just feel so fortunate to be a part of it. So I'm excited about the collaboration, and I'm excited about meeting people I haven't met and seeing people I've met that I haven't seen in a long time. And I lived there for 4 years, so I'm going to be able to run across a lot of people that I'd like to say hi to. So I'm looking forward to all of that. And 4 months is going to go lickety-split. So I'm excited about that too. And things are developing. We are going to have some pretty cool talent coming on board. Not only will we be there, Leah doing ceremony, and all of us doing workshops, as well as our friend Jessie making Organite with y'all. So it's a magical tool for bolstering that 5G radiation kind of energy. So you're going to want to get yourself some Organite, even if you don't come to our event. but we are going to have workshops, ceremonies, bonfires, open mic. We have a George Carlin-like comedian coming up from Atlanta. He's our personal friend, Bo Micadelic. He's going to come in about 10 o'clock on a Saturday night. We're going to start the full moon party probably somewhere around 8 o'clock, and he's going to be coming on after we've had a couple hours of that and making you laugh, and probably you want to throw something at him every once in a while too, because isn't that how comedians do? Get you and then also make you laugh. And then so you're going to enjoy him, Bo Micadelic. He's, again, very George Carlin-like. And then we also have a good friend of mine and Leah's, more so Leah. She lives in the same area. Mandy knows her too. Beth is going to be coming on Sunday with the Singing Bowl trilogy. We're going to have a magical hour-and-a-half journey for you planned on Sunday, as if Saturday won't be enough. We have a full day on Sunday where Leah will take you on a 30-minute yoga class, and then I take you on a 30-minute guided meditation parallel life journey, and then Beth comes in with the Singing Bowls, each of us doing 30-minute stints. So it's 90 minutes of pure infusion magic. So again, you're not going to want to miss this. Between the land and the crystal quartz, and Leah's right, I owned a home at one point in Chickamauga, and it was on crystal quartz on the side of a mountain. It was pretty cool. Too bad that marriage didn't work out. The land was magical. But anyway, I moved away, and now I'm out west. So join us over the holiday, Halloween, Samhain, however you want to call it, for our magical experience. You can get a day of it, you can get 2 days of it, and you can get 3 days of it. You can stay with us and you can stay away from us. Either way, join us. And if you can't make that one, know that there's a lot more in the works, and you're going to be able to experience it at some point, and it'll be our pleasure to bring it and to keep doing it and to keep developing it for your enjoyment. I know for sure in the next 6 to 7 months, we probably will be up the East Coast, because Mandy and I have a good friend, Jenny, who has been in the music industry and likes to organize music up that East Coast area there. So we're probably going to add music to our next one. So they're only going to grow, okay? Then we're going to probably flip out to the west and maybe tinker around California, because one of our friends has experience with festivals and some licenses and regulations under control already. So you can't make that one. Don't worry. There'll be so many more. Did I cover it, ladies? Did I cover mostly what we got going on?
I think you did a fantastic job, and I'm just, so excited. So if our listeners want to go, reach out to us, heartoverego@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook under Heart Over Ego Radio or the Alchemy Sisters and Greenwich Village, and we will definitely get back to you. So we do have some things happening astrologically right now. I know Leah's going to talk about the solstice, but I wanted to mention that yesterday I had a reading with my friend Ursula, who's an astrologist, and she owns Ursa Alchemy, it's called, and she does wonderful birth chart readings. And she talked to me a lot yesterday about Mercury, because I happen to be born during a retrograde, so I learned that yesterday. And there's a lot of things lining up for me during this particular one. And she said that it would be nice if I could, set some intentions and perhaps even pray to Mercury as a planet and as a god. And you want to treat Mercury retrograde like you do a new moon. You want to set some intentions, because this is the time where we rest and recalibrate and come back into ourselves and figure out, what it is that all these seeds that we planted, how we want to make sure we go ahead and integrate and then release the things not serving us and move forward into our next chapter. So retrograde isn't always supposed to mess everything up. It's supposed to help clear things and make it clearer during its time. And I thought that was wonderful. So if you feel so called, listeners, go ahead and treat Mercury retrograde like you would a new moon. Set some intentions, pray, get a little more organized, and think about what it is you're wanting to call in. And I know, Leah, you have a lot to share about the solstice.
Yeah, so this is a really interesting portal for us to be in. If we've learned anything up until this point, is that 2020 is not stopping. And the ascension energies, I think, are just getting more and more intense. And we're all, at least from my experience and the people that I've been working with and talking to, are really unlearning and then relearning a lot of stuff. And what I have noticed within, my work and within my community is that the veil between illusion and truth is becoming really, really thin, right? And it seems like as a collective, we are burning through lots of really old trauma, and we're watching that manifest within the people on the planet and within these systems that are just coming, really so obviously outdated that they can't really even be sustainable much longer. So with this midsummer portal, we are also experiencing a new moon and an eclipse in Cancer. And so last year during this portal, I was in the jungles of Costa Rica, and I remember feeling in that moment last year that something really, really big was coming. I had no idea what it was, but I was in this week and a half long process of just really crazy emotional release. And a lot of the people I were with were kind of experiencing the same thing, where we were all really kind of in a space of doubt and just kind of down, right? Very much in our feels, as Cancer does for you. And so I'm feeling a lot of the opposite so far right now this year, but with your midsummer portal, we are celebrating the fertility of the goddess and the connection of this masculine and feminine energy and the duality of this planet. And we are, I believe, in a lot of ways, motivated to carve out space to just be grateful for the promise of rebirth. And the abundance that comes with that, right? The planet is always fertile. She's always going to cycle. She can heal herself. She can heal us. And so this portal is about, basking in the sun of these really long, hot days, feeling into our connection with the Earth Mother, really appreciating the rain, appreciating the water of the oceans, and knowing that, there is massive potential all around us to be harnessed for creation, to be utilized, to alchemize energy, to heal parts of ourselves that have been long hidden. And, we're seeing in a lot of ways the fruits of our labor. This is the time of year where our gardens are beginning to show, maybe their first signs of harvest and abundant, right? We can go out and we can pick berries off of the bush, and we have salad and tomatoes in our garden, and we can see all of the work that we've been putting in right on the other half of the year coming to fruition. And so this coincides with a new moon and a lunar eclipse. So as Mandy was saying, a lot about Mercury retrograde, new moon, you're setting these intentions, you're getting organized, you're looking at this as a new beginning. And what's phenomenal about eclipse energy is, number one, it heightens everything else that's happening around us, right? And it's going to bring a lot of this shadow stuff to the surface. So as we feel ourselves pull inward with the energy of new moon, we also find ourselves, emotionally really vulnerable, I would say, but also connected to ourselves so that we can start to swim the depths of the psyche and of the heart. What is it that comes up to be noticed, witnessed, looked at, alchemized? And a lot of this really old stuff, as we talked about as a collective, is starting to come up for us. So we can expect, I believe, to be, in this feeling state that feels really trancy and contemplative, and utilize this to celebrate all of the changes that we can make within this portal, as well as the work that we've already done up until this point. So I know that was a lot, but there's just a lot happening.
Boom, baby.
I enjoyed that. I was informed. I got schooled there. So thank you for that. And taken notes, and got another astrology show that we do called Political Star Talk, and that I take notes at too, because it's not my language, but I like it. It's like I'm trying to learn Spanish and kind of catching when people talk about it every once in a while, writing notes and going and checking it over later and being like,
right,
conjunct, what the hell is that, or whatever, whatever wording or whatever that I have to go check out. That's how you learn, right? You listen to people who know about it, and then you take notes and do your own deciphering and looking into. Ladies, I'm going to run to a commercial, and then when we come back, we'll start our journeys, if you guys are okay with that, unless you wanted to add something before we go to a quick break, Mandy.
No, I'm good. Sounds great.
All right. Be back in a minute, guys.
You are listening to Heart Over Ego Radio, a network of shows offering healing and guidance for your beautiful journey. Tune in on Mondays for the Alchemy Sisters, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 Eastern. Tuesdays, tune in and tune up. Body awareness and self-care, 11 Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. Wednesdays, One for All is Love, 1:30 Pacific, 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Thursdays, Unbound with Cynthia Martin, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 Eastern. Fridays, The Witching Hour with Greenwich Village and the Alchemy Sisters, 11 Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. And on Fridays, Rain Radio, 10 Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Saturdays, Creating Heaven on Earth, 11 Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. And Sundays, Everyday Psychic Radio at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. This is the Heart Over Ego Radio Network.
Welcome back, everybody. This is The Witching Hour, and you're here with myself, Mandy Elam, and myself is Jenny McDaniel, as well as Mandy Elam, as well as Leah Sugar. You're going to find us all over social media, and we're on YouTube and any major podcast app. Just search Heart Over Ego Radio, and on any Instagram or Facebook, go ahead and look up the Alchemy Sisters as well as Greenwich Village. You'll be able to keep up with all of our goings-ons because we got a lot going on. You're going to want to keep up. So Heart Over Ego Radio also has a Facebook page. So I want to tell everyone that we're going to go into the meditation portion of our Witching Hour. And you will have myself, Jenny McDaniel, start us off. We're going to go see our third planet of the 7 in the Pleiades, the 7 sisters. So we'll continue on with that journey. I know that. I don't know exactly what it looks like, but I know that's where we're going. And then I'll hand you over to Leah, who will take you on a journey inside of your body. And then Mandy will take us on a guided meditation and fantasyful, I think. Is that a word? Fantasy-like journey is kind of Mandy's motif, but of course she switches it up, and you'll have to just stick around and see where she takes us. So again, we are the Alchemy Sisters and Greenwich Village, and this is going to be a trilogy of guided meditation. So if everyone can find the breath, you'll do this by noticing your breathing. Once you notice your breathing, you're putting your awareness toward it, and this is what we want. We want you to notice that every time you breathe in, you're breathing in light and love, and every time you breathe out, you're breathing out in anxiety and stress. And they're saying with every breath, you become more relaxed. And as you become more relaxed, your breath becomes more deep. With every breath, you become more relaxed. And as you become more relaxed, your breath becomes more deep. And as you find that you're winding down for this journey, 35 minutes, you'll notice that you can move your body, but you don't want to. It feels very heavy. And if your eyes aren't already closed, go ahead and physically close them. You could open them if you want, but they become more heavy with each breath. And as your physical eyes close, your center of your mind begins to stimulate, and your third eye opens up. And you're going to go on a guided journey with me. So follow along in your mind's eye, your third eye, and your ethereal body, please. You'll notice that we are seeing rolling hills, a field of rolling hills. As far as your eye can see, you're seeing rolling hills. The green grass is swaying. Beautiful, lush green grass. The sky is so blue. The contrast between the blue and green is just magical, and the hills are rolling and soft and inviting. You'll notice the sun's out. You can feel it on your skin. Beautiful, warm, glowing blush of the sun sitting right on your skin, making it warm. And as you feel your skin warming up, you notice that it starts to sink down past your skin and go into your bone, and warm up your bone and send light and vitamin D and magic to it. Let that absorb. And as you Take another breath. You'll follow me back into the imagery of the rolling hills, the beautiful green grass. As far as the eye can see are rolling hills. There's one tree and one tree alone. You and I are sitting knee to knee underneath it, and I say, are you ready? And you say you are. And the blue sky turns very dark blue, a midnight blue, a royal blue, and I see that the spaceship is coming for us, which is what they've been using for imagery. Although we're teleporting, they like to use this fun imagery of a spaceship that correlates with aliens, and it's all imagery anyway. Beautiful spaceship is loading us all up. It's a small ship, but because there's no space and time, we all can fit in there. And they take off, and there we go. Seeing all the beautiful planets that we're passing, all the beautiful things that are floating around in outer space, chunks of rock, asteroids, seeing all kinds of interesting planets and stars and moons. Then we start going faster, and I notice that we're traveling a little bit more through time, and before I know it, we're warped into what appears to be a different galaxy. And I see the Seven Sisters. And our guide turns around and says, we've made it safely. You'll be unloaded by a guide who will take you and explain to you what's going on in what you're calling planet number 3 for ease and grace. And I say, thank you very much. And here we go. Guys, come on, let's get out. As we pile out like it's a clown car. We come out and we're kind of floating, and the gravity is a lot different. And I notice we all kind of have like some assistant kind of tools on our heads to help us breathe, which is kind of cool. Anyway, they're acclimating us, and a guide shows up, and you can see through him. He's very iridescent, and he's very kind and patient, and he says, right this way, gang. And he takes us to what appears to be a view. He goes, I want to have you view it from afar so you get a big open imagery look before we go inside of this place. And this place looks like it's futuristic. It's circular. Everything's pastel. Everything's got rounded circle shapes. It's a beautiful, magical, futuristic vision. And there are some kind of what appears to be motor vehicles flying through the air. Like a pastel Jetsons. It's pretty cool. And he's like, close enough, let's go. And so as we go into the city, I'm noticing everything's circular. It's very cool. And the colors and like the vibration coming off of it. It's like you can see where the physical part of the building is, but then out from it is like an aura. And so they're kind of like 3D images, or I forget the word, but 3D images is a good one. And so as we start walking through this community of rounded circles and pastel colors, we see some more iridescent people, and they're looking at us and they're waving as if we're a kindergarten field trip. We're waving back. Hey, friendly enough, let's go. And he's taking us to the classroom. So as we kind of walk through a few rows of different sized circle buildings, I noticed that we are coming into a square building. And I go, why is your school square? And he goes, I don't know, it's kind of just been that way for so long. It's kind of how we do it, kind of like you guys do with certain things. And I go, oh, fair enough. He says, ask the person inside there. They'll have all the legend and lore. And I'm like, sweet. So we walk inside what appears to be the only square building in the whole planet. Probably because we're square humans, and that's where they send us. But any which way, we walk in, and we notice that there are very human kind of things there. There's some wood, things made of wood. I haven't seen woods until we got into this room. And they're saying that we do have some of your guys' beautiful resources that we cherish and hang on our walls. It's art, and wood is one of them. So cool, probably because they don't have it. And so as we walk through, we notice that there are some desks, and we all sit in our own individual desk. And the beautiful teacher who's iridescent walks out and says, this is what you guys see the future looking like when you guys have those imageries as humans. And this is where a lot of your storytellers and sci-fi authors get their images. It's from parallel lives and other planets that have this kind of ethereal, kind of iridescent glow. And I'm like, yeah, it's cool. And so as the teacher starts to tell us why, really quickly, this building is square, he says that this is square because everything is around in our community because there is no hierarchy. But we do agree that there are higher levels of understanding and awareness. And so that's why we do this tall building to represent there is some hierarchy and understandings and knowledges. And I say, fair enough. Got to have a little ego to exist. And they're like, exactly. And we have very little of it, and that's some of it. So either way, they want to tell us about where we're at. They're saying that this is what is more of a business kind of artisan trades place. So what happens here is a lot of arts and physical arts and manual labors and performances. And so it's a little bit like what we do a little bit as far as a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And I just say, what are your specialties here? And they're saying, well, we really love performing arts and circusy, what you call circusy acts and performances. Just because we're mostly heart energy here doesn't mean we don't like a good performance and entertainment. I'm like, yeah, what's that like? And they're showing trapeze and kind of contortionist kind of energies and how some of these Pleiadians love to perform in what we call circus stole style. And I said, that's cool. I go, what are you going to teach us while we're here, teacher? And he wants to relay some energy to all of us, and he wants to do some energy work. And so he's standing in front of what appears to be all of us in desks in a classroom, and all this white light starts coming out of his hands. He goes, this is better felt than described. And I say, I can dig. And all this white light comes out and starts just penetrating our heart chakra. And in it is an incredible amount of joy that makes you want to sing and dance. So he says, we have so much joy here, as well as the other sisters, the other 6 planets, but we have an incredible amount of joy here that often comes out in performance and trades arts and things of this nature. And it's one of the only planets here that kind of plays in this very heavily. And I say, oh, it's the theater group, and this is kind of. But we do all kinds of things here, but that's what we say our specialty is. And so as he's beaming us with white light, this incredible amount of joy that's making me want to sing and dance and spin around in circles like the hills are alive with the sound of music, that kind of energy. He's saying, this is what I want you to take with you to your planet. That joy, that desire to dance, even in the cataclysmic energy, is to bring forth that joyous energy. You're not going to feel it all the time, but just try to penetrate it. And we are absolutely bolstering you guys in that space. You guys are our link to doing better energy work. When I do energy work on you, you go do energy work there, and then we can bolster the planet as a whole. And I can say, I can see your mission, and that's why we're all down for it. And he says, I know you all are. Anyone listening here has incarnated to the Pleiadians at least one time, and you love it, and you've invested time and energy, and you are connected. And this is why you're going to feel this alignment on a different level. So as he continues beaming our heart energy, it kind of starts to crawl up and down. So out of the heart chakra comes white light. It's filling up the heart chakra and pushing up into the throat and the solar plexus, into the third eye, into the sacral, and out the crown and the root at the same time. So they're just full on, flush out, move the energy, beaming us with joy, intrigue, interest, excitement, all the world's a stage. So you might as well go and be grand with your gestures of joy and excitement. This is your world for the taking. This is when the meek inherit the earth, as your Bible states. Silly book, but it does have some interesting pieces. And he's saying, we love you. We're going to get you back on that ship because we know we got to take you inside. We've got to take you back to earth so Leah can take you inside the body. And Mandy can take you on a joyous journey as well. And so he's having us get out of our seats there, and we're all vibed up, glowing, floating, just levitating out of that square building, passing all the beautiful circle buildings of all size, shapes, and dimensions there. So we're just continuing on, and I see our cool spaceship, and we all pile in like clowns in a clown car. Before you know it, we're up in the air and passing some beautiful planets and suns, moons, stars, beautiful comets, asteroids, open-ended black vacuum of air, just wanting to grow and expand in a delicious, heartful way. Love being a part of that atmosphere. And as we get closer to our galaxy, I notice that I can see our beautiful planet, and I give joy and thanks. Even though the Pleiades would be an easier place to live, I know my job is here in the thick of it, bringing in as much joy and excitement as I can. And that's what I chose this lifetime, but I sure do like the Pleiadians' help. So as we land that cute spaceship, we all pile out, because we can, underneath the tree in the field of rolling green hills. And I say, how is that? And you enjoy. You say you enjoyed it. You seem like you enjoyed it. So I'm just going to have us go to a neutral place and just find that you're underneath that tree, feeling that earth underneath you, feeling that grass, smelling that air, feeling that sun. And from here, I'll hand you over to Leah. She'll take you inward.
So as you recalibrate yourself into the physical, really, really gently here in your space, in your home, begin to find just a touch of movement. So maybe rocking the head and the neck side to side, maybe just wiggling through the fingers, the toes, perhaps taking a really long and deep breath into the abdomen. You can hold it at the top. And then as you open the mouth, let's exhale and feel the body become even more heavy in your space. And you can take a couple of rounds of breath like this. You can inhale, fill up through the belly, rib cage expands, perhaps holding the breath at the top. And then exhaling, opening the mouth, releasing, body is heavy in your space. And one more like that on your own rhythm, pace. Big breath to reawaken, big exhale to soften. And we'll bring our awareness to the heart space. And since we have been opened and cleared energetically, let's begin to really intentionally cultivate a feeling of joy. So the beautiful thing about joy is that it's one of the most high vibratory feeling states, right? It's feeling holds an incredibly high vibration. So if we can cultivate that within ourselves, then we can begin to raise our own vibration intentionally and carry that into the rest of our day, into the people that we meet, attract even more of it. So just begin to pull something into the heart that brings you joy. So perhaps the sounds of birds in the morning, ocean waves, bare feet in the grass, fresh flowers from the market, working in the garden, connecting with those you love. Begin to cultivate this feeling of joy within the heart space, holding a visual if that works for you. And then with every inhale, can you visualize the heart space expanding with that feeling of joy? Every inhale, it grows. And every exhale, it integrates. So as you inhale, breathing to expand that sense of joy, raising our vibration. And exhale, it integrates into the body, into the energetic system. Two more like that. Breathe in, joyful expansion. Exhale, it integrates into the pranic body. Last one, breathe in. And breathe out as we integrate. And hold this feeling of joy, taking a few rounds of breath to just notice how it shifted, perhaps physically, mentally, emotionally. How does it feel to cultivate that feeling of joy? And then we're going to spread that feeling through the body. And we're going to see if we can't notice energetically how our body shifts and changes and opens as we invite this vibration of joy into every physical part of our being. So awareness in the heart space, awareness in the heart space, awareness in the heart space. Take a full deep breath in. Joy in the heart space. Joy in the right shoulder. Joy in the left shoulder. Joy in the right elbow. Joy in the left elbow. Joy in palms of the hands. Joy in palms of the hands. Joy in palms of the hands. Joy to the belly button. Joy to the right hip. Joy to the left hip. Joy to the right thigh. Joy to the left thigh. Joy to the right shin. Joy to the left shin. Joy in the soles of the feet. Joy in the soles of the feet. Joy in the soles of the feet. Come back to the breath. Take a full deep inhale. Fill up. And then a soft, relaxed exhale to release. Awareness back into the soles of the feet. Joy to the right calf. Joy to the left calf. Joy to the right knee. Joy to the left knee. Joy to the right glute. Joy to the left glute. Joy to the center of the back. Joy to the center of the back. Joy to the center of the back. Joy to the back of the right shoulder. Joy to the back of the left shoulder. Joy to the back of the neck. Joy to the back of the head. Joy to the crown of the head. Joy to the crown of the head. Joy to the crown of the head. Come back to the breath with a full inhale to expand, open, breathe in this vibration. And then opening the mouth to exhale, release, soften even more deeply. Maintaining our awareness here in the crown of the head, and just notice energetically, how does the body feel? Can you sense your vibration? The beautiful thing about these high vibrational feeling states is that the more we dwell in them, the more of that vibration we attract. So within this timeline, the work that's being done, the work that is asked of us here to alchemize, to transcend, to ground. When we hold these higher vibrations, we can more easily find the tools and the exercises, whatever it is that we need to maintain this, to continue to do the work and feel sustained. Take 2 more rounds of breath here. Awareness to the crown of the head. And then feeling into this vibration, really gently breathing your awareness down into the root chakra. So maybe for you that's the pelvis, perhaps that's closer to the womb space, or maybe it's the soles of the feet. So how do you connect with your root chakra? Find yourself there. And intentionally visualizing your roots growing into the Earth Mother and beginning to connect with the vibration of this seasonal shift. Feel into the abundance, the potential, this creative life force that works through everything. And I will leave your awareness here, feeling into that connection, perhaps moving just a little bit to recalibrate, allow this work to integrate, but staying grounded in this earth energy as you move into your journey with Mandy.
So as you're feeling aware and relaxed, imagine your body is swinging. And there's this amazing, wonderful, comfortable hammock lying beneath you. And you don't have to do anything. You just have to lay there, comfortable, relaxed, tuned into every fiber of your being, feeling your cells sway with this hammock. For a minute you think, who is pushing this hammock? And then you think, it doesn't really matter. And as you keep swaying, You feel lighter and lighter and lighter. And the sun comes in and it starts to hit you. And you feel sparkly, almost as if every single cell in your body is being cleansed and recalibrated by the sun. You feel deep nourishment coming in, seeping down to your bones, and it feels warm and gooey, yet light and nourishing. So you take a breath and you sit up and you notice you are on a hammock, but you're in the middle of the woods. And there's beautiful, bright, vibrant leaves swaying in the wind with sun sparkling through them. And all of a sudden you see a chipmunk, and it starts to run. And it runs down along a rocky path and disappears. But you notice a beautiful rose bush next to the path where the chipmunk just went by. So you sit up and you take a breath and you stretch. And you say, wow, that really felt amazing. Where should I go next? Well, I might as well walk over and smell that rose and see what it's all about. So you walk over, and as you get closer, you thought it was a pink rose, but as you get closer, you realize it's actually more orange or sorbet with just a touch of pink. And you walk up and you smell it, and it smells absolutely divine. And as you breathe it in, you feel your heart open just a little bit. It expands, and as you breathe in that amazing rose aroma, you feel your heart open even more. And suddenly your heart pulls you. And you turn to your left and notice that the path that the chipmunk went down keeps going. So you start walking, and along the path there's a beautiful babbling brook. And the water is flowing, and the trees are swaying, and there's sunlight glistening. You still smell little hints of rose from the beautiful sorbet rose that you just experienced. You think, wow, life's really amazing. Suddenly, at the end of this path, you see a gate. And it's a beautiful gate. It almost looks like it's metal or iron. As you get closer, you see a beautiful vine weaving its way through it. And on this vine, there's little white flowers. They have tiny little yellow centers to them. And then they expand into the most beautiful, delicate, wispy leaves that sways just with the wind. Next to the gate, there's a sign. It says, all are welcome. And you think, well, why not? So you open the gate and you start walking. And as you're walking, you see a bird bath. And there's 3 robins just taking a bath and singing. A little bit of sunlight shining on them. The rest is shady from the leaves of the tree. And to your left, there's a beautiful herbal garden with all kinds of different things. And so you start to walk over and explore. And you see this beautiful plant of lavender. And there's bees swarming in and out through it. The sunshine hitting it. It sways just a little with the wind as well. And then suddenly there's a hummingbird that comes in super fast. And it stops just in front of you for a split second. It had green and yellow and blue on it. And off it goes. And then suddenly you smell something different. So you turn your head and you keep walking and you look down and you see all kinds of green herbs. And there's oregano and sage and parsley and thyme. And it smells absolutely divine. Then you start to smell something different. almost as if it's maybe onions or garlic or something like that cooking. So your nose gets the best of you, and you turn with the wind and follow the scent that's illuminating your mind right now. And you notice that there's a small cabin, and it's tiny and simple, but it looks warm and it looks inviting. And there's a big deck on the front of it. And so as you walk down the path, you notice there's steps leading up to the deck. And you walk up the deck and you hear, "Why, hello there." And you turn to your right and you see in the corner there's a rocking chair with an old woman sitting in it rocking. And she says, "Hi, how are you today?" And you say, "I'm actually fantastic. I've been on a wonderful journey and I've been healing and basking in the sun and I feel absolutely amazing. And I'm really excited. I just happened to stumble upon this place." And she says, "Well, welcome. This place is my place and I always welcome visitors. I'm happy to hear that you had some healing because I'm actually a healer." And you say, "You are?" And she says, "Well, I was once upon a time, and I still like to do it every now and then. Would you like to join me?" And you say, "Sure." So she opens up the front door of this tiny little cabin, and it just smells like home. She says, "Oh, I'm cooking some stew for later." And you say, "Well, that smells amazing." And she says, "Thanks, it's my favorite." And she says, "Come, have a seat." And as you walk in, you sit down in a beautiful Adirondack-style chair. And all around you, you see dried herbs and flowers hung along the walls. There's crystals and candles. There's even a little bit of soft music playing in the background. And you say, "What is that music?" And she says, "Oh, that's just some string music I really like to listen to. I've always liked it, so I always have it playing in the background. I'm glad you pointed it out, because sometimes I don't even notice it myself anymore." And she says, "Would you like a cup of tea?" And you say, "Of course." And she says, "This one has some rose hips and some peppermint and some chamomile and lavender and a few other special things just to help you feel calm." And you say, "Wow, thank you so much." And she says, "I'd love to give you just a little bit of energy, if that's okay. It sounds like you had so much work already, and I would just love to give you a little bit of a chakra tune-up in energy. Would that be okay with you?" And you say, "Of course." So as you sip your tea, she comes around and she stands in front of you and she places one hand just over your root chakra. And she says, "I'm just cleansing this out, and I want you to know that you are safe and secure and protected at this time. And now I'm moving up to your sacral, and I'm swirling, and it's beautiful, and it's actually very orange and bright. This is where your creativity lives, much of your emotions and sexuality, and yours looks really nice right now and clear. And it's important to remember that you're radiant, and you're powerful, and beautiful, and you're strong. And next, I'm moving up to the solar plexus. And I see there's just a little bit of clouding around here. Seems like where you come from, there might be a lot happening, and it might be hard to maybe step into your intuition or your personal power at this time. So I'm just going to grab my selenite wand, and I'm going to come and clear it out for you. And it almost feels like your stomach feels like at ease, more than it has in eons. And she says, "I just want you to remember it is safe to stand in your power and trust your intuition." And she moves up to your heart chakra and says, "Wow, you have such a beautiful heart." And she grabs a piece of rose quartz and holds it over. And she says, "You are so worthy of love. And it's safe to give love as much as it is to receive love. And remember, you have a beautiful heart, and it's worth sharing its energy. Every time you give, you'll receive, to allow that. Perhaps take a little time. I see there's just a little heartache in there. and forgive those things that are still maybe causing just a little bit of disease. It's safe to now, and it's a wonderful time to do that. Next, she moves up to your throat chakra, and she says, wow, your throat has such a beautiful sky blue color, and it's sparkling and amazing. She says, you must have a lot of ancient wisdom and intuition. Always remember that you are safe and free in this lifetime to speak your truth, and that the wisdom of your higher self and your ancestors protect you in that, and it's safe. And you feel these, almost feels like there's an energetic string being pulled through your heart, your throat chakra, like floss wood or something. And it feels clear and amazing and almost powerful. And so she moves up and she says, now I'm going to work on your third eye, your brow chakra just a little. And as her hands come over it, so does a wave of indigo. And it's beautiful and deep, yet sparkling. And she says, you have such wonderful vision. You have clarity, and it's absolutely divine. Know that you can trust this vision and this intuition, and to see through with clarity through the perception of love. It's safe too. Then she moves up to your crown chakra. And it almost feels like there's sunlight shining on you again, even though you're inside of this woman's beautiful cabin. So you just radiate, and visions of purple and white and gold come swirling through. And she says, your crown chakra, it's so beautiful and it's so brilliant. This is our source of divine wisdom and awakening and enlightenment. And you have such a beautiful channel. Know that it is safe to channel wisdom and insight through this. And then she comes around and takes her selenite wand and sweeps it over your whole body. You take a deep breath, and it feels absolutely incredible. You stand up and you say, thank you so much. And she says, the gift was truly mine. You say, I have to be going now. And she says, I know. She says, before you go, though, I'd like to give you a little gift. And you say, okay. And you wait by the door, and she goes over to what looks like a cabinet or a chest of some sort. And she reaches in, and she pulls out this tiny little pyramid. And she says, this is an organite pyramid, and it's going to help you in the world that you live in. And you take it from her, and it feels absolutely incredible. It starts to light up your palm, and you feel energy trickle down your fingers. You say, wow, that's amazing. And she says, yes. Keep it close by, and it will serve you. And you said, thank you so much. So you start walking, and you open the door. And you get greeted by the smell of roses again. And then you walk out down the path. You look over your shoulder, and the old woman waves goodbye. And you wave goodbye and say thank you. And as you walk up the path and get back to the rose bush, you take another nice deep breath in. And this time you open your eyes and you welcome yourself back into the space in which you started this entire journey. You can stay here as long as you like, or you can move about your day. And we thank you so much for tuning in to Heart Over Ego Radio on the Witching Hour with Jenny, Leah, and myself, Mandy Elam. Have a beautiful day.
You are listening to Heart Over Ego Radio, a network of shows offering healing and guidance for your beautiful journey. Tune in on Mondays for the Alchemy Sisters, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 Eastern. Tuesdays, tune in and tune up. Body Awareness and Self-Care, 11 Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. Wednesdays, One for All is Love, 1:30 Pacific, 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Thursdays, Unbound with Cynthia Martin, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 Eastern. Fridays, The Witching Hour with Greenwich Village and the Alchemy Sisters, 11 Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. And on Fridays, Rain Radio, 10 Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Saturdays, Creating Heaven on Earth, 11 Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, and Sundays, Everyday Psychic Radio at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. This is the Heart Over Ego Radio Network.